Hello, and welcome to our Impulse 2020 series of presentations. My name's Bill Wilkins, and I'm your presenter today. Our Impulse 2020 presentations are aimed at showing you how you can take simple, beneficial steps towards the digitalization of your company. And today, we're taking a look at online meetings in virtual reality. Here's our agenda for today. First, I'll start with a brief introduction just to set the scene, and then we'll take a look at our i4 virtual project meeting platform, also known as i4 VPM for short. With i4 VPM, you can easily hold online meetings in virtual reality for a wide range of applications. At the end of the webinar, we'll also give you the opportunity to enter a live VR meeting room using just your web browser. As we can all see, the world is undergoing rapid change. Due to the current situation with COVID-19, real face-to-face meetings with customers are difficult at the moment. But even before COVID-19 came along, travelling long distances for sometimes just a short meeting was already undesirable. In addition to the time and cost issues of travelling, the environmental impact it causes is also an important consideration. If you're able to conduct a project meeting effectively via the web, instead of travelling by car, train or plane, then this benefits everyone. So it's a good thing that digitalisation is gathering momentum throughout industry and that new technologies are enabling us to meet remotely at almost any stage of the project lifecycle. From a marketing perspective, attending trade shows is also difficult right now. And when shows do take place, they're usually highly restricted. It's also fair to say that in many industries, the popularity of trade fairs has waned over the years, and they're no longer the customer's first choice for obtaining information on new products or technology. For these reasons, it's increasingly challenging to effectively present products to the marketplace, so we all need to take advantage of new ways of communicating in order to reach both new and existing customers. But even when you've convinced your customer about your products or services, further meetings are usually necessary, such as for design reviews, planning the project, or to discuss construction issues. And again, having all these meetings on site doesn't make much sense at all, especially considering the time it takes. A web meeting can take place within minutes if necessary, whereas an on-site appointment always has a significant lead time. Now, I'm sure that all of you will by now be familiar with video conferencing apps that enable you to meet remotely using live video and audio. But imagine being able to go a step further and meet remotely in virtual reality. Imagine being able to freely walk around a product model or even a whole construction site in virtual reality and interactively discuss the design with your colleagues, suppliers or customers at the same time in the same world, no matter where they are in the real world. This is exactly what our i4 VPM platform enables you to do. So let's take a look at i4 VPM in action now. Here we are in an i4 VPM meeting. As you can see, it's an interactive 3D world that we can move around. Myself and some of my colleagues are gathered waiting for the meeting to start. And the moderator, the chap in red, is going to lead us off now. He's going to take charge of the meeting and guide us to a meeting room where we have a model of a robot on display ready for review. As you can see, my colleagues can freely move around, they can talk to each other, and basically just have a good look at the exhibit. At any point, the moderator can choose to load different models into the world. And now we're loading a model of a machine from one of our customers, Mariani. I'll just move out of the way a bit to give my colleagues a chance. And if I stand over here, you can see now they're all congregating around having a good look. At any point, the moderator can pull us all to a particular location to have focused discussions. You can see we can crouch down, we can have a really good look around. I'll just do the same thing so you can see the same. And I'm sure you can see from this how interesting it is and what you can do with it. Remember, this kind of meeting can take place with participants anywhere in the world. The moderator's now decided he'd like to show us something else, and actually it's in a completely different part of the site, in a factory building. It's actually a full-scale bottling plant. And this shows the other end of the spectrum of what you can do with the system. You can look at entire factories and process plants. It's that scalable. I'll just move over here now and turn around so that you can see my colleagues following the moderator up onto a platform where he wants to have a good vantage point for a particular discussion. And as mentioned before, he can call us to a particular location, which he just did. I'm now standing on that platform and I can have a good look around. We're going a little bit quick here because it's a demo, but under normal circumstances you can stay here as long as you want, chat for as long as you want, explore as much as you want. The moderator's now gone onto another platform to get another view of the plant, and he just called us all to that location. You probably saw my colleague Stefan flying to that location out of the corner of your eye. If I move around here now, you can see that my colleagues are going to go on a free walkabout, and you can see we can run, we can jump, we can explore. It's a very powerful system, and it's very scalable too. And I'm now going to move on to a few more slides where I can explain how the system works in more detail and how you can connect to it. i4 VPM is a highly inclusive system that almost anyone can access. You just need a VR headset, a PC or a tablet to participate in i4 VPM meetings. So let's take a look at the range of clients supported in more detail now. For a totally immersive experience, you can attend meetings using a VR headset, and without a doubt, the ability to move freely around a factory or a building full size and be able to naturally look at every last detail is quite intense, and in my opinion it's very close to a live tour. We fully understand that not everyone has a VR headset today, and so we also provide a client for the Windows desktop platform. This makes i4 VPM accessible to almost anyone. Of course, viewing via a PC screen isn't quite as immersive as using a headset, but you can still freely look and move around to get a detailed picture and communicate with the other participants. If you have a tablet, you can also use that to access i4 VPM. This is a highly mobile option, which makes it easy to attend a VR meeting on the go from pretty much anywhere in the world. Our tablet client is compatible with both the iOS and Android platforms. Last but not least is the possibility to attend a meeting using just a web browser. With this option, the client does not need to be installed in advance, which is really convenient for participants who do not regularly attend i4 VPM meetings. Although the amount of model data that can be visualized in a web browser is somewhat limited compared to the other clients, as you can see in this slide, the amount of data that can be displayed is typically sufficient for the vast majority of applications. If you prefer to use the web browser client, our recommendation is to use the Chrome, Chromium, Firefox and Safari web browsers. First generation Internet Explorer and Microsoft Edge browsers are not supported. Please note also that the browser must be a Windows desktop browser. This is just because the currently available tablet browsers do not yet support the technology we use, but as mentioned on the previous slide, there is an i4 VPM client provided specifically for Android and iOS tablets. So how do you go about setting up and running i4 VPM meetings using your own CAD data? Well, organisationally, i4 VPM behaves in a similar way to video conferencing systems, in that there is a console to organise and control meetings, as shown on this slide. In the upper left corner of the console, you can see the controls to create individual meetings, modify them, and of course delete them as required. Once you've set up a meeting, you can invite the meeting participants by email. Next, you set up the models that you want to review in the meeting. This is also achieved via the console. When developing i4 VPM, one of our main goals was to ensure that your design data can be effectively reused. So we take your 3D CAD models and process them for viewing in virtual reality. Because you might want to look at several different scenarios during a meeting, or use the same models in subsequent meetings, this process is split into two steps. The first step is to transfer your models to the i4 VPM server. As mentioned, we recommend working directly with your CAD models, but this is not mandatory, and you can of course use separately prepared data. However, we see a great advantage in using your models directly because it makes them available with minimum effort. Don't worry if your CAD models are very heavy and detailed, because we offer the possibility to compress and simplify them during the transfer process if necessary. This is particularly useful for large models. For example, if you don't want to represent every nut, bolt and washer used in an entire production line. After your models have been transferred to the i4 VPM server, you then make them available for viewing in specific meetings in step 2. Using the console, you simply select the models on the server that are to be displayed in a particular meeting. This step can be performed in advance before the meeting or dynamically during the meeting. Models can also be removed from a meeting. This enables different scenarios to be visualized and discussed in the meeting, either together or one after the other. To enable discussions to take place in meetings, i4 VPM transmits the participant audio in addition to the 3D scene. The moderator has the usual possibilities to mute and unmute some or all participants as required. We've designed i4 VPM to be truly scalable for any application. Whether you want to occasionally have short meetings with, say, 2 or 3 participants, or use it every day for communications within your company or with your customers. You decide how many meetings you want to be able to run in parallel and how many participants can attend a meeting. Other scaling options are how long you want to use a service for and to what extent. It makes a difference whether you hold meetings almost continuously or just for 1 hour a week. You might decide to use the service for, say, 3 months for a particular project and then choose to expand your usage to an annual plan. Whatever your level of usage, it's important to mention that the use of i4 VPM clients to attend your meetings is completely free of charge for your customers. Each participant pays nothing and everything is handled via the server. If you'd like further details, you're welcome to get in touch after the webinar and we'll make you a specific offer for your requirements. We are, of course, already thinking about the next version of i4 VPM. In addition to increasing interaction between the participants through one-to-one conversations, we also want to allow more interaction with the models. For example, the ability to move and hide objects and to draw sketches and write comments on models. We also want to enable you to display additional model information, such as part numbers and other properties. This is static information though, and we're also looking to display dynamic information, such as real-time information from a plant or factory relating to its operational status. This makes a lot of sense when it comes to monitoring and servicing a plant. The service engineer would not necessarily have to be on site to get an accurate picture of the plant status or view the location of a problem. They could potentially then either intervene remotely, or if this is not possible, provide detailed guidance to on-site staff as to what to do. So now it's your turn. We've set up an open meeting for today's session so that you can try i4 VPM for yourself using just your web browser. But before you do, I'd just like to explain a few things to help you get started. First, when you start i4 VPM, the web browser client will load and you'll see this login screen. We've simplified the login process for this meeting so that you only have to enter your avatar name, shape, and display color, and then click Connect. I'll show you this in real time now. After you enter the URL, i4 VPM starts up and you'll find yourself at the login screen. All you have to do then is enter your avatar name, shape, and display color, and click Connect. It's that simple. The meeting will then load and you'll find yourself looking at a scene like this one. To use the system, the controls are very simple. You simply use your mouse to look up, down, to the left, and to the right. You can also use your W, A, S, D and arrow keys to move forwards, backwards, and to slide to the left and to the right. You can also use your space bar to jump and double space to double jump. And finally, your X key to crouch down. It's very simple, very much like a typical video game. So this brings me to the end of the formal presentation part of today's webinar, and I'd now like to invite you to enter the live IPM meeting using the URL shown on this slide. I'll leave the slide on screen for 2 minutes just to give you a chance to copy the URL into your web browser and also for reference for the controls. All that remains now is for me to thank you for your time and attention and to say please don't hesitate to get in touch with Cadshura if you'd like further information or if you wish to discuss your requirements. I hope you enjoy your time in the virtual meeting room, and goodbye for now.